So today we're going to talk about the link between Dajjal and Shaytaan. What is the link between these two? Because understanding this is extremely important. Okay? Because Shaytaan follows a pattern. You know he's the jealous type, right? And the jealous person wants what someone else has. And who is he copying? Who is he trying to copy? He is trying to copy none other than Allah Himself. His goal is to copy the world of the heavens and bring it upon earth in His way. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has an arsh. And so Shaytaan makes for himself an arsh on earth. Okay? The Prophet said this, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said, this is in Sahih Muslim. Inna Iblis yad'u arshahu alal ma. Iblis put his throne on the water. One of the reasons, وَكَانَ عَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to have His throne on the water. And whatever that means, Allah knows best. Because what we don't see, this is a very important rule I'm about to give you, okay? What we don't see in kalam, in our theology, in Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, ما لم يرى لم يكيفه. What we don't see, we don't know its true condition. Okay? And so this is the case with the unseen world. So the point I'm trying to make here is that Shaytaan is doing what? A Shaytaan, astaghfirullah, he's trying to copy the world Allah made for him, because he used to be in the heavens, and he's the jealous type, and used to be in the heavens with the angels, seeing how everything works over there. And then when he was brought down on earth, what did he do? He tried to go to the heavens to listen to the angels, what's going on, right? And he was trying to set his agenda. You see the pyramid and all these other things, they are an attempt from him, as the Prophet explained, an attempt from him to do what is in the heavens, okay? And so in order to understand the relationship between Dajjal and Shaytaan, you have to know what is the role that each is going to play, okay? So now, the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in a Sahih Hadith, Inna Iblis yad'u arshahu ala al-ma. Iblis, la'natullahi alayhi, he put his throne on the waters, okay? ثم بعث سراياه, and then he sent his people all over the place, his cronies, his stooges, okay? فأدناهم منه منزلا أعظم فتنة, and they are in closeness to him according to the level of fitna that they create, okay? So Dajjal comes in here. They are in closeness to him according to the level of fitna that they create. Okay, now over here you have to understand something. Let's continue with the hadith of the Prophet, and then I will tell you a very important point. Okay, أحدهم يقول, and one of them says, فعلت كذا وكذا, I did such and such thing. Now there's a reporting, just like there's a reporting system. Every Monday and Thursday our deeds go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now they're also looking for nearness to Iblis. They're working for Iblis, right? وَيَقُولُ سَنَعْتُ شَيْئًا, and somebody, one of them says, I did such and such. ثُمَّ يُحْيِي أَحَدَهُمْ فَيَقُولُ, and one of them, now one of the shayateen, he says, مَا تَرَكْتُهُ, I didn't leave such and such person, okay? حَتَّى فَرَقْتُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ مَرْأَتِي, I didn't leave him until I divided the husband and the wife. You see, they have a ranking. And so when one of them says, okay, I didn't leave them until I was able to divide the husband and the wife, right? فَنَادَيْتَهُ وَيَقُولُ نِعْمَ أَنْتَ, he says to him, you're so good. Or in another riwayah by Amish, rahmatullah alayhi, he says, فَيَلْزَمَؤُهُ, so, or he embraces him, he hugs him. Okay, this is what I want. When you see the shayateen, they have levels, okay? And he is from heaven. He used to be in the heavens, and he knows how the ranking of the angels works, okay? When the lower level angels do their job perfectly, allows the levels of the angels on top to do their job perfectly. So now Shaytaan is able to do the groundwork, the legwork on the world in a perfect way with the media and the music and all the sins, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, now he's able to get that done in a very fine way from the top to the bottom. They're more organized than ever, and they are in closeness to him according to the level of fitna. Releasing Dajjal at a time where the lower level, the foot soldiers, they're not yet perfect in what they do, right? Releasing them, Dajjal at that time would have not done any good. Now, over time, he has trained his army, his people, his cronies amongst the humans and the non-humans. He's trained them, brought them in closeness and rank like in the heavens, and he has now he's trained them, and now he's able to get, this is important, he's able to now get information that he was not able to get before. See, before he went to the heavens to listen to the angels, and then the Quran came and put a stop to that. You can't listen to what's happening in the heavens anymore. That was like throwing him back, because he had a system made, he had a design put in place, and then now he was thrown back. And then ever since then, he's not able to go to the sky, so he had to recreate a new system, okay? And in that, he is now using technology to get a lot of the information he used to get from the angels. The Shaytaan is tapped into technology, taught in many cases human beings the direction to go into to get this technology. Now, Shaytaan wants to do what? See, the pattern is the same. The pattern is a person on top, which is, he's going to release Dajjal, right? They're in nearness to him according to the level of fitna, the Prophet said. Well, we know the fitna of Dajjal, it's a big fitna. And he will release Dajjal and there's another aspect to this that Muhammad Iqbal mentions in his Iblis ki Majlis Shura. That is that he knows his time is running out too. And so he's going to take his biggest, trick at the end, where he wants to go to hell with as many human beings as possible. Okay? But the other thing he wants to do, and he has been doing over and over, why do you think it is? From one culture to another culture, to another culture, to another culture, what happens? The same basic things happen. They're worshiping idols, they're worshiping idols, they're worshiping idols, they're worshiping. Why? Because you see, the Hinduism, the idol worshippers, the modern Hindus in India, they're a good example of what happens. He creates many gods, and he makes them, remember, he's jealous of what happens in the heavens. So and a very, very important point I'm about to mention, okay? There's a divine sunnah. There is a divine sunnah. There is a very important divine sunnah. Shaytaan has dominion over the ones on earth. Shaytaan, Allah gave permission to the shayateen to have control through suggestions, through different ways, to seduction, through whispering. Shaytaan has power over human beings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a rule, and the rule is that shayateen have, the devil, Iblis, has been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the permission to control even human beings to the degree of suggestions. He has the permission from Allah to try to lead human beings astray. He has the permission from Allah to make false promises and give us false hopes despite what is obvious, right? And to believe in these false hopes despite what is obvious. Now, you see, Shaytaan is jealous of that world, and he wants to create that world here. And the way he feels, because he's so jealous, there's not a being more jealous than Shaytaan. In fact, the word Shaytaan has two meanings. One of them is shatana, okay? Shatana, okay, means to burn. He's burning in his jealousy of what he used to have before. He's burning in his jealousy of what he used to have before. And he is cursed. This is why you'll find something interesting, right? Allah says, we first say, when we approach the Quran, we first say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The first thing Allah says, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنِ, when you read Quran, فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ, then seek refuge in Allah. The point I'm trying to make here is, it is so important, because the divine rule is that Shaytan has dominion over human beings. And so the first thing you say is, A'udhu billah, A'udhu billah, A'udhu billah, in its many different forms. A'udhu bi kalimatillahi ta'ammat, A'udhu bi rabbil falak, A'udhu bi rabbin nas, A'udhu billah, in all the different forms of du'as the Prophet has given us. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Now Shaytan is Anfa'lan and Rajim is Anfa'il. Just like Rahman is Anfa'lan and Rahim is Anfa'il. Okay? Rahmah of Allah, Rahman is the Fa'lan. It's on the weight, on the pattern of Fa'lan, meaning this is what somebody can be rich. Doesn't mean he spends his richness. Doesn't mean he spends his mercy. Allah is Ar-Rahman. He is full of mercy. And He's Rahim. He spends His mercy. He gives it away. He is very, very generous in His mercy. Okay? So, but Shaytan is burned, and he is cursed, and he is Rajim, and he is always throwing. Rajam means to throw in the dart, like a dart. You throw the dart in Rajman bil Ghaib. These are the words in Surah Al-Kahf. Throwing your dart in the darkness, right? You're trying to just guess. And this is what Shaytan makes human beings do. He brings you to curse and brings you into just a guessing game, a world of speculation. What happens in economics, what happens in the news. It's all leading people by speculation. Just guesswork. They don't follow except conjecture, their own opinions, their guesstimations that are not based upon anything. Okay? Now, what is very important is that Shaytan wants to create that world that he was jealous, that he's now jealous of. He wants to create that world here in dunya, right? And he wants to do it by creating a world that does opposite of the rules of there. He wants the hierarchy there, starting with his arsh, going all the way down to the foot soldiers, and control over human beings, right? And so he has always tried to do this in the same pattern, always making one civilization to another civilization to another civilization to another civilization, making them worship idols. Because Hinduism, idol worshipping, it has always these many gods. Some gods are on top, some gods are in the bottom, and this is the type of pyramid scheme that he then wants to put into human beings that are on top, human beings that are in the bottom. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means, وَلَا تَعْبُدُوا الشَّيْطَانِ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. Do not become worshippers of Shaytan. He is your enemy. He's going to put you in a system of, just guesswork, where you don't have the mercy, where you will be burnt out like Shatana, where you will be cursed. Okay? And so you're seeking Allah's refuge from that power that He's been given to put you in a world of no stability, of Rajim, of Rajam, and into that world where you're outcast from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I'm not with the party of Shaytan. Ala inna hizbu shaytani humul khasirun. I want to be with the party of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ala inna hizbullahi humul ghalibun. It is the party of Allah that has the mercy of Allah, that brings mercy, that spends its mercy, that has the mercy in the heart and spends its mercy. Okay, the point I'm trying to make here is what? That Shaytan wants the hierarchy, okay? He wants to be on the top, but he wants a world where the rules are completely against Sharia, completely against the divine laws, completely against the divine will, so that he can then say to Allah, see, I led them astray. Okay? And then, you see, his relationship with Dajjal comes here, because when Shaytan went from one civilization to another civilization, one time to another time, he would bring them back to worshipping idols. There are other reasons too, which I won't go into, because one of the ways that Shaytaan can communicate with human beings easily, okay, is by through an object. Okay, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah alayhi mentions this, that that how do you know if you're hearing is something from the angels or from the shayateen? One of the ways is that if you're hearing a voice from an object, okay, this leads us to a more issues which I'm not going to go into right now. But if you hear a voice and you can't tell where it is coming from, it has no direction, okay, and it has no physical place as such, and then it is if it doesn't have direction or physical place, then it is from the other world. And if it has a certain locale, has certain place, then it is the shayateen. Okay, just leave that at this point because I don't want to go into more details. Okay, but I was only mentioning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed Shaytaan this control. Okay, and he wants to do from one civilization to another civilization. He tries to do the same sins, tries to get human beings to do what the people of Lut did, or what the people of Fir'aun did, or what the people of Saleh did, and tries to get them to worship in the same way, to worship him, to pray to him. Okay, because when you're praying to an idol, you're praying to him, right? And so this is now Shaytan's biggest trick is Dajjal. Okay, because there's certain things Dajjal is willing to do and will do that Shaytan will not do. Okay, one of the things that Shaytan will not do is to claim to be God. One of the things that Shaytan will not do is to fight in a battle against Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. You know this in the battle of Badr, right? In Surah Al-An'am, what happens when the mega Fir'aun, Abu Jahl, was there against the Prophet in the battle of Badr? What happened? The mega Fir'aun, he saw the Prophet, and the shayateen, the Shaytan saw the Prophet, and the mega Fir'aun was needed. You see? Because when the Shaytan saw the Prophet and his army, they said, what? We're going now. We've done our job, we have to go. There are certain things Shayateen cannot do, they cannot withstand. Okay? And to do that, to fight against the truth at a certain level, the Shaytan can't do it. He needs someone else to do it. And from the beginning of time, Shaytan knew, just like he knew there will be إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ, till the day of judgment. Allah give me time, and Allah gave him time to lead people astray. Shaytan had his bag of tricks. He knew the big jinns and the small jinns, and he knew the jinns who had fought against the angels before, and he knew which of the jinns to use for his biggest bag of tricks. Okay, and so Shaytan has his throne on the water, and islands, as you know, the Dajjal is on an island. How? What did I say? مَا لَا يُرَى لَا يُكَيِّفَهُ. What we don't see, we don't know its condition. And so he gets them to do the same sins: alcohol, divorce. And not that divorce is always a sin, but in many cases it is, and in many cases it's not. But it's the same pattern. It is the idea of control of human beings. And now when the foot soldiers have brought the human beings to a certain point, now when you release your big jinn, when you release your big Dajjal, when you release your big deception, and you play out the ultimate drama of what is in the heavens, here comes the Messiah from the heavens, right? Like a UFO, like an alien, somebody who's coming, somebody's coming and giving revelation, and then here's the agents who are getting the revelation, and so on and so forth. Okay, and he's going to use technology to have that information that the angels have in the heavens. Shaytan wants the hierarchy of the heavens with his arsh on top, but he wants the rules to be completely against the rules that are played out in the heavens. And Dajjal is willing to say, I am God. Dajjal is willing to fight against Isa. Isa said, I cast out the devils by the permission of Allah. Iblis cannot stand in front of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So he won't even be there. He's going to push Dajjal to do his job. And so this is the relationship that the bigger the fitna, the closeness they have to Shaytaan. And then Shaytaan or Iblis releases him when the foot soldiers have done their footwork and gotten everything ready, and when everything is in place, and he now has information using technology like the people of the like he used to get from the angels. You see, that was a big setback for Shaytaan when he couldn't get the information anymore. So I will end here. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين